What's up, guys, and welcome back to another video here on Wwe'S Wrestling. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys what I think are WWE's top 5 biggest problems and why. Before we get into the video, if you guys are not already, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to turn on post notifications so you don't miss any new videos, and don't forget to leave a like down below. Alright guys, let's get into this video. The first issue that WWE has that we're going to be talking about is the fact that they do not know how to book stars outside of the world title picture. And I'm basically talking about Rhea Ripley and Gunther, if I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. They just do not know how to book Gunther and Rhea Ripley outside of the world title picture. I mean, think about Rhea Ripley. Let's just take her for example, right? She held the world title for 380 days before she was forced to vacate the title because Liv Morgan injured her, right? Then she comes back. And obviously, with Liv being the champion and Liv being the one to take her out, obviously she was going to come back after Liv and for the title. So that makes sense. But that storyline dragged for months, all the way until January, the first Raw on Netflix. Like, that story, it overstayed its welcome, and that was how long she was chasing the world title. She just kept getting rematch after rematch after rematch. And then, her second reign, I think she held it for 56 days or something. Then she loses to Io Sky, pretty clean, if I might add, right? I don't think Bianca really had any involvement in that match. And then we see Rhea politic her way into the WrestleMania match when she had no business really being in it. Obviously, it went on to be probably match of the year, if I'm being honest with you guys. Obviously, from an in-ring standpoint, I love that. But, like, story-wise, it made no sense that Rhea was in that match. Bianca won the chamber, and Io Sky was the world champion. That should have been the match. But Rhea politics her way into that match. Like I said, it was a great match, and I'm just talking story-wise here. She gets that world title opportunity. She loses, and then I think the Raw after, maybe 2 Raws after, she confronts Io Sky again, saying that she wants the world title. Right, like, when is it ever going to end? And then we end up, fast-forwarding to Evolution, where she gets a world title match for, like, I don't know what reason. I mean, Io just handpicks her. Rhea did really nothing to deserve that title shot. All she's done is just lost the title and lost matches for the title. She gets that match at Evolution. Once again, just like the triple threat, it was literally a match of the year candidate. Storyline-wise, though, it just made no sense for her to be in that match at Evolution. And obviously, she loses that match. Naomi cashes in, probably one of the greatest cash-ins of all time, if not the greatest women's cash-in of all time, right? And then you think, okay, that's probably it for Rhea Ripley in the world title picture. Maybe she can move on and do something else for SummerSlam. No. She is getting another world title match at SummerSlam. And I know it's going to cook. I know the match is going to be good. But this is an issue. Rhea Ripley has been nonstop in the world title picture for like 3 years at this point. I just get scared because I don't want her to turn into a Charlotte Flair, where Charlotte Flair, obviously now it's been different because she's been in the tag team with Alexa Bliss, so she's been getting more cheers because she's doing something outside of the world title picture. But that was the issue with Charlotte, is the fact that she kept winning title after title, and she was always winning the Rumbles and the Chambers and being involved in the world title storylines. It just got so boring, and I don't want that to happen to Rhea Ripley because she is the most over female superstar in wrestling right now, right? Not even in just WWE. I just don't want that to happen to her, but that's what's going to end up happening because they don't know how to book her outside of the world title picture. They need to give her feuds outside of the world title picture. I don't care who that's with. Like, maybe it's Stephanie Vaquer. I don't know. Make her feud with somebody, right? Like, having her just chase the title for as long as she has and hold the title, it just gets so boring. This is also, like, an opportunity for other superstars to jump in there and get matches, but, like, no. If Rhea Ripley's getting world title matches at every PLE, how are you going to build the other stars that you're trying to bring up, right? It just doesn't make sense to me. I also obviously said Gunther. Gunther's another one, right? He held the IC title for 666 days. I know that's not a world title, but still, championship picture. Held that for 666 days, and it was a great reign. Don't get me wrong. He loses the title. Then they immediately put him in the world title picture, and I think that makes sense. The IC title, it's a stepping stone to go to the world title, right? But, like, immediately, he wins King of the Ring, and then he wins the World Championship at SummerSlam. Like, they didn't even, like, wait. I thought they should have waited, like, a little bit, maybe. He wins at SummerSlam. Obviously didn't have too great of a reign. It started off pretty good, but the way it ended was obviously horrible. I think he held it for over 200 days, maybe, if I'm not mistaken. SummerSlam to WrestleMania, however many days that was. He loses to Jey Uso, and then, not even, like, 2 months later, he wins the title back. He gets a title shot. For what reason? I don't know. Literally, with outside of the world title picture, all he did was feud with Pat McAfee, who's not even a wrestler. He is a commentator. And Gunther feuded with Pat McAfee and then somehow earned himself a rematch for the world title. I don't get it. And then obviously he wins the world title, and now he's on his second reign as world champion. I'm not sure if this is going to be a short reign or a long reign, but just like Rhea Ripley, like the guy's just always in the world title picture. Like we need other superstars, like new superstars, to get into the world title mix. Like you need to be able to show that you can put Gunther and Rhea Ripley into other feuds that don't have to do with the world title. Like there's so many great active superstars that you could have Gunther feud with, but they just choose not to, and I have no idea why. That is one of my biggest pet peeves with WWE, is the fact that they just struggle to book these top stars outside of the world title picture. And like I said, if you can't do that, people, they're eventually going to turn on these superstars like Rhea and Gunther, and they're going to get fed up with them, and it's not really going to be their fault. The second issue I have on my list is that WWE tends to not finish storylines, and this happens a lot. Like, think about Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. How long did they tease, like, Austin Theory's babyface turn on Grayson Waller? And it ended up being an off-screen split, and just, like, nothing. Like, I don't understand the amount of times that they teased it, and it was, like, getting hot. It was getting close to actually happening, and then they would be off TV for, like, months. Then they would come back all buddy-buddy being tag team. Like, it just makes no sense. Why didn't they finish that storyline? And this goes with, like, a lot of storylines that they just choose to not finish. Think about AJ Styles and Braun Breaker, right? That was, like, gonna be an awesome match. Like, a match that people were dying for. A dream match, if you will. Right, and like they had a couple of segments, and people were really invested, including myself, to see that match. Maybe at WrestleMania. Obviously, the IC title match at WrestleMania was awesome. Another great match, unforgettable moment for Dominic Mysterio. But like we all, at least at some point, wanted to see Braun versus AJ, even if it was before WrestleMania, and we just didn't get it. Instead, they just threw AJ into a program with Logan Paul, which was just stupid, and that feud just was dumb as hell. But, like, once again, they don't finish storylines. If you're going to start a storyline, please, for the love of God, finish it. Like, I really hate that with WWE. They have to be able to finish storylines. If you're going to get people invested in what you're doing, you have to be able to finish it out. Even if it's not like a, you know, the ending people were looking for of the storyline. Just at least finish it, right? Put a close on the storyline. Just having it go for some time and then pausing it or just like stopping it completely with no explanation is just super dumb. The third issue I have on my list is that WWE does not try hard enough with their champions. This doesn't go for everybody and every title, but it goes for a good amount of them. I mean, think about Julia, the new Women's United States Champion. We haven't seen her on SmackDown in like weeks to cut a promo or have a match. What are they doing with her in this title? The U.S. title, the women's U.S. title in general, has been awful since it's been introduced. Like, there's been no real storylines. Like, think about how good they've booked the women's IC title. Why can't they just do that with the women's U.S. title? It feels like they're just not trying. They're not trying to build stars, right? They're just saying, oh, you hold the title, and you'll have maybe one feud and one trash feud and one match in the span of like 2 or 3 months, and then you'll drop the title and we'll do the same thing with the next person. That's what it feels like with Chelsea, Zelina, and Julia, the 3 United States champions. And, you know, this goes for other titles. Think about Dominic Mysterio. Yes, Dominic is having a great storyline with AJ Styles. I'm very invested in that. I think it's really funny. But, like, I really wanted more out of Dominic Mysterio's title reign. Think about how red hot he was at WrestleMania when he won and all the cheers he was getting, how he ran back to the ring. Like, it was an insane moment, and then he just, like, cooled off. Like, it's almost like they did it on purpose. Like, he only feuded with Octagon, which was, like, announced the day of Money in the Bank, because he was at the AAA PLE. Like, he didn't have any feuds for that title. He had a match with Penta, but, like, that was, like, an ongoing feud from before. Obviously, they were involved in the Fatal 4-Way match. But, like, AJ Styles has been on his only real feud, and he's held this title since WrestleMania, which was 2 months ago. I hate that, especially if he's going to lose the title at SummerSlam. Like, I'm going to be really upset because I wanted more out of this Dominic Mysterio title reign. Another person's Io Sky, right? She, just like Dominic Mysterio, was red hot. She won the title unexpectedly on an episode of Raw against Rhea. The fans were super behind her. At WrestleMania, she puts on Match of the Night. She wins. She gets a huge ovation. She gets a huge ovation the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania. And then they don't do anything with her in her entire title reign. They barely have her on screen. If they have her on screen, it's in backstage segment for like a minute tops. That just meant absolutely nothing, right? Like, she didn't have any feuds until Rhea Ripley at Evolution. Like that, like, it sucks. Like, and this goes with more, like, titles. Like, think about the Raw tag titles. Like, they don't book that good enough. Like, the Raw tag division is in shambles because they don't even try with it. They try with the SmackDown tag division. They don't try with the Raw. And like it just goes with way more than I'm even saying. But WWE, like they have to try harder with their champions. I mean, like if you're a champion, you're on top of WWE. Like you should be getting respected like that and getting treated like that. But instead, like having like 0 to like 1 to 2 feuds in the span of months is just super embarrassing. And I just think WWE has to do a better job with that. The fourth issue that I have on my list is that WWE does not do a good job of utilizing talented superstars. Like Carmelo Hayes, I think is the greatest example I can give you. Like, think about how good he was in NXT, how over he was as a heel, as a babyface, the character work he did, right? Just his in-ring ability, his charisma, like it's so natural to him. Why are we not seeing that play out on the main roster? Like, why has this man not been like a U.S. champion by this point? Like, I don't get it. Like, they don't do enough with him. Braun Breaker was a 2-time Intercontinental Champion, and now he's in this main event group with Seth Rollins. And Carmelo Hayes, like, think about the difference between them two. And then Lara Valkyria, first ever Women's IC Champion. She's involved in one of the hottest storylines going in WWE with Becky Lynch and Bayley. How about Tiffany Stratton, Money in the Bank winner, and she's held the WWE Championship for over 200 days. Like, I don't get it. Like, and there's obviously other people like Ray Phoenix, who they've picked up on. Andrade as well. Think about how long Andrade was in catering for, and he just was not on screen. After his best of 7 with Melo, which was awesome, and they deserved to get pushes after that, but they didn't. We didn't see Andrade on TV for like the longest time. Yes, him and Ray Phoenix are thriving right now in the tag division. I'm super happy that they're at least getting on TV and getting to showcase their abilities in these matches. I think that's awesome. But like Andrade for a good span was just not on TV. And Carmelo Hayes, it's rare, I feel like, for him to get a match nowadays on SmackDown. I kind of liked what he was doing with The Miz before, but now The Miz isn't around. I don't know where The Miz went, but Carmelo Hayes has been left in the dust. They're just not really trying hard enough with him. They're not giving him enough screen time, not giving him the screen time that he deserves. They just have to do better with these talented superstars, and especially the younger talented superstars, because obviously you can't rely on your older guys for too much longer. Carmelo Hayes is one of your young, hot superstars. I don't want to see him, go out WWE sad. Like, I want to see him get to the very top in the company. I want to see him become a future WWE champion. I think that's so possible. I think that I think he has all the right tools. I think they just have to let him cook. They need to let him thrive on SmackDown and just, see where it goes, right? Like, I don't think that hurts anything. I think SmackDown could really benefit from some Carmelo Hayes storylines. It doesn't have to be for the title, but, those storylines can get him into the U.S. title mix, and then he can become a U.S. champion, and the fans can really see how good Carmelo Hayes is. I love how, I said superstars, talented superstars. I've really only been talking about Carmelo Hayes because that's who came to mind when I thought of this one. But yeah, I think WWE, they just need to do a better job with this. The fifth and final issue that I have is that WWE does not reward their superstars who get over with the crowd organically. And 2 names that come to mind are Karrion Kross and LA Knight. Think about Karrion Kross and how he has been on the top of merch sales, right? He's selling the shirts, right? Even when he's only getting like 30 seconds to a minute of screen time on TV, the crowd is giving him standing ovations, right? Like when he's on main event, he's getting loud pops, right? That's not even like Raw or SmackDown. He's getting loud pops. The fans are showing support all over Twitter and Instagram. And he just, like, for the longest time, got nothing, right? Like, I know now he's in a decent storyline with Sami Zayn, and I'm thankful for that. But, like, for Triple H, a guy who said, if you're gonna move the ticket sales, if you're gonna sell the shirts, like, you're gonna get championship reigns. Like, that's what he said about Jey Uso. Then why hasn't Karrion Kross gotten more opportunities? I don't understand that whatsoever. Like, I genuinely cannot grasp that. Maybe it's just the bloodline, treatment of, the Fatus and Jey Uso. But I don't know. Karrion Kross, I feel like, if you're doing those things that I just said he was doing and you're still only getting, like, a little bit of screen time. Like I said, it has changed over the past couple weeks because he's been getting matches, actually. Like, before, he wasn't even getting matches at all, which just made no sense to me. But it is changing a little bit, but I really don't like that. LA Knight's the other guy. I said 2023, take for instance, right? Everyone wanted him to win Money in the Bank. He was the fan favorite. It made the most sense for him to win because that is when he was the most over with the crowd. And then he loses. They give it to Damian Priest, which I just thought made no sense at the time. Fans were pissed off about that. Fans were pissed off when he didn't win Money in the Bank this year, and Seth Rollins won it. A guy who you could, say doesn't need the Money in the Bank at all. LA Knight's a guy who probably does need that briefcase, but they didn't give it to him. LA Knight, is a guy who hasn't lost steam at all over the last 2 years. Like, he's still red hot with the crowd. I just think it's time they need to put him in the world title mix, right? I think that they're trying to start that, by giving him that match with Seth Rollins at Saturday Night's main event. Obviously, didn't end the way it was supposed to. Maybe that was a stepping stone to putting him in the world title picture. If Punk's not the one to dethrone Gunther at SummerSlam, I would really love LA Knight to be the one to do that, because I think it is, he's due to win a world title. Like, we're sick of seeing him in the mid-card, with the U.S. Championship. That got old. That got boring quick. He's ready to move on, right? He's ready for the world title picture. I think he showed everybody that. So I hope that that's the plan with Triple H right now. But I don't know, the way that he's been booking LA Knight the past couple of years, not really letting him take advantage of, the crowd reactions that he was getting. I don't know. But this is a big issue that like I said, WWE, they need to fix. All 5 of these issues are major problems within the WWE right now. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today's video. If you guys like this video, make sure to leave a thumbs up down below. Don't forget to comment down below what future videos you guys want to see from me. Alright guys, peace.